Good.
So everybody, we finally made it here to the historic Mackay Mansion. And I just want to let everybody know that I'm so excited. I'm like got goosebumps. We've already been here just like a few minutes, and it's like my sister Tanya, she got pictures already of the little girl. I didn't even know nothing. I'm like, who is this looking at me through the thing? But we're here today, and this beautiful woman, she's going to let us know a little bit more about what's going on here at the Mackay Mansion. And so introduce yourself and let our audience and everybody know, about you, babe.
Okay, I'm Dawn, and I'm the caretaker and curator here at the Mackay Mansion, and I've been here for about 3.5 years, and I'm really honored you guys are here. I think you guys are going to have an amazing night, and I'm here to answer all your questions and help you guys through with whatever you need.
So, how long have you been here? You've been the caretaker here at the Mackay Mansion.
3.5 years.
So you've been here 3.5 years. And in your 3.5 years, why don't you give us a little insight of your heart about what we got to look forward to and some of the things that people have seen, the hauntings and things that are going on, because I think that a lot to what has to do here tonight is that it's not so much about what we catch in the hauntings. I have a feeling that we're going to catch a lot of things, but I want to know from the perspective of somebody that has been here every day, that has put in their blood, their sweat, their tears for 3 years, baby. That's a lot of time.
I know.
And so you give it, just let everybody know. So we just want to know, so let the people know a little bit about, the history of the Mackay Mansion before we go through our walkthrough.
Okay. It was built in 1859 by George Hurst, and George Hurst, as you guys know, his son, William Randolph Hearst, built the Hearst Castle, and he did that with the money his father made right here in Virginia City. And he sold the mansion and mine to Mr. Mackay in 1871, believing that the silver rush was over in this town. And 2 years after he left, Mackay and his partners hit the big bonanza. And that was the largest silver strike in U.S. history, and it still stands today.
The big bonanza, what a lot of people don't understand is that, because I've been doing a little research on Mr. Mackay and the things that are going on, and because of that strike that they found before that, they sent most of the silver and everything into San Francisco.
Yes.
And then from that point, from where I understood that people don't got to understand that makes a little bit more about the historical part of the Mackay Mansion, because if it wasn't for Mr. Mackay, there'd be no San Francisco.
That's right. The money that was made here did help to build San Francisco and help fund the Civil War. John Mackay's business partners, James Fair, and James Fair's daughters built the famous Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco. James Flood built the Flood Mansion and Flood Building in San Francisco. And William O'Brien, his third partner, died of a lung ailment right after they hit the big bonanza, so they did not get to enjoy the spoils with them.
So, but and also a lot of the silver and gold and all the precious metals and stuff are coming, that the United States of America was using that in order to print coins too, right?
Yes, and the money, Mackay would donate money to help fund the Civil War.
And and I was reading a lot of things about that, and and he also, I read that he also lived a very long life. But when he passed away, is he buried here in Virginia City, or is he buried someplace else?
He died in London, and he's actually buried at the Greenwood Cemetery in Long Island, New York. I can show you guys a photo of it. We have a picture of the mausoleum that the whole family's in.
And so he went back pretty much home.
Mm-hmm.
So he came here, he did what he had to do. He helped the people that he had to help. But I know, was there like a lot of tragedy? Was there a tragedy or something that during the times, because during that times, people, when they making money, people trying to rob you. Was there like any great tragedy besides the fire that they had?
Oh, the fire and then all the death in town. The miners were dying on a regular basis, and again, many of those men are still under the ground. There were stagecoach accidents documented, and I believe this is one of our little girl spirits. A little girl fell out of a stagecoach and broke her neck, and she died. And on the same day, a little boy was trampled by a team of horses, and he passed away. And I believe that they don't necessarily stay in one spot.
They don't.
They move. We've caught their voices at the Washoe Club as well as here.
And that's, that's probably, that's funny that earlier that I was talking to your son Bailey, and I explained to him, and I was like, who is this little boy that I see coming up? And I said, I just see him running out the door, and I was like, and then, he came and he explained to me, and he told me about, how he died, got hit by, a stage coach, and all that stuff like this. And I said that must have been traumatizing, because I know that baby probably didn't die right away.
Yeah.
And I kept feeling him asking about his, asking for his daddy. It's most thing you would think a child would ask for their mom, but he was more worried about where his daddy was at. And he kept telling me that his father died in the mines, and that, and that's what he's telling me now, is that his father had died in the mines. And it's funny that we went there earlier today, and then we have our investigation here, and it's all leading. It's like something that, like, the children, like, is leading us, because in a lot of paranormal investigation, when you see a child, it may not be that child, it could be something else. But we're not here to make everything demon, or demonize everything. This is the life that happened during that time. And it's really sad that, that a baby had to, babies had to lose their lives, over something like this. And so I feel that their spirit keeps coming, because I remember what I was like, I was thinking, and we were talking before, and I was telling you about what's underground, and that's all I keep feeling. I was like, what's underground? And remember, before you even told me, as I said, these spirits are coming because of the crystals, and they're flowing through these energies and everything that's here. And so when Mr. Mackay was here, how was his mental state? What did he feel like living here in this mansion?
I know he liked it in Virginia City, because this is where he hit the big bonanza. So he enjoyed it here, and Mrs. Mackay spent a lot of her time in Paris. However, he would go to Paris and spend 4 months out of the year with her and the kids.
So this was like his sanctuary, his man cave.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they had separate lives when they were away from each other. I feel
it. And the decorations and everything that tell us a little bit about this room that we're in,
This is the parlor room, and this was, it's been documented that John Mackay and Mark Twain played cards in here.
Wow.
And they used to do their entertaining, smoke their cigars, drink their brandies. This room was also used because they did not have funeral parlors in that time period. So this room, the parlor, was used to...
So it was the old school days when they used to put the bodies out for everybody to look at them and everything.
So this room had many, many bodies displayed in it. And if a miner lost his life in the mine and the widow couldn't afford a place to have a service, Mr. Mackay would open up his home and let them do it right here. So he was very kind.
So
and
this
I
was
have a lot of good things to say about Mr.
So
Mackay.
this room right here, in other words, and what we're trying to say is that it was more like a mortuary like kind of room, and then they took them off, and then they was buried. Were a lot of the people, were they all buried into the cemetery that's over there, or is there another cemetery?
There's multiple cemeteries, and they go by religion and status. And
they really still did that that?
Yeah, it's really kind of sad. And do you know of Julia Bulette?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I heard that she wasn't allowed to be buried because of her station.
Yeah, she was the red light district. Yeah. That's the thing. Madam. That's the thing that we gotta understand, is that with our things with Stone Paranormal and how we do things, we look at life for what life is. Okay, we're not gonna sit here and just like glorify it in any kind of way, or making them like this. The woman, yes, she ran the red light district. Yes, she was a madam. Yes, they don't know where her places of origin. You got people that even disrespecting that woman's name even after she's gone, but they don't sit there and think that she was right there with them firemen.
Yeah.
She was right there helping people when they needed to eat. Right. She was there to help the miners and everybody when they did. Yes, she might have been going, but that was her trade, okay? That was what she knew during that time. And she rose in the ranks. So she had a lot of enemies that were here.
Oh, yeah.
And and a lot
mostly
of
women.
Yes, because they were jealous, because here you go. And from the pictures I've seen, and the very few pictures that they have of Julia, is that she was a very beautiful, she was slender, she was tall. She had everything. She's like the supermodel of her day.
Mm-hmm. And she was very friendly. All the men liked even just talking to her.
But did she ever grace this mansion?
I believe she did. I don't know of any documentation. We're looking into that, but I'm looking at my son because he might know. You know if Julia has been in the mansion?
No, there isn't any documentation of that, but I do have an interesting tidbit about Julia that I know.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you need to come sit your behind over here on the camera. The camera's on, man. Let's put over and make.
Yeah,
Listen,
please.
I ain't shook. We got another chair right here. I get to touch history, okay? So,
Oh, we got lots of children.
So I sit in this.
is that one okay to milk? Oh, we gonna sit here right here by his mama.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
shoot.
you.
One day y'all gonna look at this and y'all be like, this, I was right there with my mama.
I have a question really quick.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
We're not filming just yet.
Okay.